welcome back to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm your host PBO, and you're joining me on Infinity War. That's right, we're reviewing Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, the spoiler review. Yes, folks, we're going to get into spoilers. I'm going to kind of give you a little explanations on some of the things maybe you didn't understand and some of the things you did understand and maybe want to have some questions too. Kind of just talk about the overall plot and what I felt about the movie, and yeah, that's it. All right, so let's kick this sucker off. So Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. So right off the bat, I love this movie. This is 10 years culminating in this ginormous crossover, supersized comic event. I mean, as a comic book reader and kid for years and years reading comic books, and Marvel being one of my favorites, I mean, this Infinity War comic's been out for years. It happened in the 80s. So the events that happened, I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen at the end of this movie, and it actually came to fruition. I was extremely shocked about how beautifully it was handled. I mean, it was just done beautifully. It had a lot of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 where Voldemort passes. It does that with a little better look to it. I really love the way they did it. But the finger snapping has been around forever, and the fact that they actually pulled it off was great. Now, I predicted the opposite, so I'll get to that at the end. But this movie overall was just gorgeous. They established from the start who Thanos is, what he wants, and what he is after. And I thought that was the best part about it. This movie is about Thanos. Yes, it's the Avengers, but it's the Avengers taking on Thanos, and we're watching his mission to try to retrieve all the Infinity Stones so he can bring balance to the universe. In his twisted mind, he feels like there should be perfect balance in the world, and he tries to explain it when he do that flashback with Baby Gamora where he gives her the blade and it's perfect balance. He feels if there's balance in the universe, then no one should starve, everything will grow and everything will thrive. And the reasoning behind this, which you find out at the end, is his own planet. He went to the leaders of his own planet to tell them that this world would die and we would starve and this world would fall apart if we don't actually have a genocide and remove half the people. And they thought he was crazy, and his world ended up dying, and they say it's like eight degrees off axis, and it's all destroyed, and that's what really angered him. So because of that, he took it upon himself to change this throughout the world. Yes, he's a crazy Mad Titan. That's his name, the Mad Titan Thanos. So we get to meet his other children, which are the Dark Order, and those are basically the main ones that stay with Thanos outside of Nebula and Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, and those are his main ones that do all of his bidding. And a lot of people will say that they feel like they didn't get their just due, but I feel like they did battle a lot of stuff at the beginning, especially the New York battle, and there's a couple things when they're going after Vision. I mean, yeah, they're not going to be perfect, but we're also talking about they're not like Thanos. I mean, they're not some unmovable force. They get a lot of licks in, and they even take Doctor Strange before they get tricked, but it takes multiple Avengers to beat each one. It's not like one Avenger beat each one. It's like it was multiple Avengers at different times strategically taking out the Black Order, so I didn't really have an issue with that. One of my favorite things off the start of this movie is they establish how strong Thanos is. They basically have a one-on-one fight with the Hulk, and they let the Hulk just beat him up at the start, and you're like, whoa! But then the one of the Black Order's like, well, just give him his fun, and Thanos comes out and beats the living mess out of him, and it's this great theme that they play throughout the whole movie, where Banner is trying to get the Hulk out, and the Hulk is terrified of what Thanos did to him because he's never been beat up like that he refuses to come out and fight, and Banner has to take it on himself. It's just a great emotional struggle between Banner and Hulk. I thought that was absolutely amazing, and I love the way they established that. The MVP to me in this movie was Thor. Thor comes off looking great. I mean, the humor from the minute you meet him with the Guardians, the great humor between him and Quill, doing the voice back and forth, to him calling Rocket Kitty and Tree, and they loved him and they just want to roll with him. I mean, Thor was amazing. The scene where he shows up to Wakanda is probably one of the best scenes in the whole movie, and Thor finally comes off as Thor, where he is Marvel's basically person that matches Superman. He's a god like Superman, and he's almost unbeatable, and we finally get the Thor that we want, and Chris Hemsworth, who's such an amazing actor, brings that humor and levity to this character that we really didn't get in Thor 1 or Dark World or even Avengers. Like, he wasn't that good. In Age of Ultron, they kind of pushed him to the side, but since Ragnarok and now in this one, oh man, Chris Hemsworth is finally blossomed into the Thor we want, and I just don't want him to go, but I'll tell you my thoughts on Thor and where it's at. So he was great. Iron Man obviously looks amazing. I love the way they use Doctor Strange. Such a comic book way they use Strange. Strange is exactly like that in the comic books. Spider-Man comes off amazing. The Guardians. I mean, this is a culmination of 10 years. We finally get all the characters in one place, and this thing is magical. From the action to the really deep scenes of emotions and the bringing together of people and stuff coming together. I loved everything about it. I just thought this movie was well done, and everyone around the world and America knows, and they've been seeing it, so you should check it out too. So let's get a little deeper dive into some of the things maybe you didn't understand. So we saw all the stones getting collected, right? And we saw a lot of people die, and then we had the big deaths at the end. So what I'm thinking going forward is, I don't know if you guys know, but there is a part 2 to this. Yes, there is a part 2. We're going to get a part 2. It's not going to be called Infinity War. It's going to be called something else. There's lots of guesses. Maybe Secret Wars, maybe Secret Invasion, maybe Infinity Gauntlet. Who knows? We have no idea. Maybe even New Avengers. We have no idea, but there's another one coming. So I felt like there was a lot of deaths. And what I chose is I thought the originals were going to die. I thought Cap, Hulk, Thor, and I picked all the originals. But instead, they flipped it. And they took all of the people that came in like Phase 2 and farther in Phase 3. And they took them all the way. So we get the original Avengers going to come back for one last ride in the fourth Avengers, along with Hawkeye, who will be coming back, Ant-Man, who will be coming back, and then we're going to get the addition of Captain Marvel, who's really going to be a big addition, which we'll talk about at the end. So I feel like it's going to be one last ride with the old Avengers to correct the issues they did with Thanos and to hopefully go back and change them. And I feel like the ultimate sacrifice is going to be those Avengers giving up their lives for the new Avengers to come back so that they can live on the legacy, because they've already been the Avengers forever, and they don't need to be the Avengers anymore. The new Avengers need to take over, and the Doctor Stranges, the Black Panthers, the Spider-Mans, everyone who passed away, the Peter, everyone who passed away in dust. Now I feel like people like Loki, Heimdall, and Gamora, who all died pre-Thanos snapping his fingers, are gone forever. I don't think we're going to get them. It's a Yondu. It's a Quicksilver. They're not coming back. They're just not. I just don't see them coming back. So the end credit scene is this great scene where it's you get Nick Fury and you get, I can never remember her name in the show, but I know she's from How I Met Your Mother, and they both basically go away from Thanos snapping his finger, but right before he goes away, he's able to send out an intergalactical page, and he's sending out a page to Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel movie is going to come out next March, and it's going to take place in the 90s, and it's going to take place in the Kree and Skrull war pre-everything. So basically something's going to happen where she's going to come out of this and meet Nick Fury and end up in America somehow, and she's going to be away in some other galaxy, and then Nick Fury is going to send that text out, which is going to make her come back as Distress to help out the Avengers in the fourth one. That's kind of where I see it going. I also feel like they're also saving the Tony and Cap reconnection, because they never reconnect in this movie until the fourth one, to really give that big impact where these two are going to work together to make sure that whatever they do together as a team to go forward and to bring back the Avengers to where they need to. So that's going to be a big sacrifice. So that's definitely going to be huge. Yeah, I mean, this movie, there's so much. I mean, the snapping of the fingers and watching half the universe pass away was one of the most amazing things that they actually pulled off. My biggest thing that I really was mad about, which is one of my favorite actors, is Peter Dinklage. I just don't feel like his scenes were really that good. I don't know. I love the whole Thor aspect. I feel like he was overdoing it, and I don't know. It wasn't really that cool, but that's a minor gripe. This movie overall is so amazing. The story is so good. The pacing is just beautifully done. I mean, it's great action, great humor. I mean, I'm laughing every minute. I miss so many different lines. Just a great overall movie. All right, there you go, folks. That's a little spoiler review of Infinity War. Come back next time, we'll have more. All right, until next time, guys. Good night, Ted.